Hello everyone. In the previous lecture, we have studied about geoinformatics definition, concept, and we have looked at the different tools and techniques which are used for the geoinformatics. In today's lecture, we will study each and every tool one by one in detail. So here is the outline what we are going to study today. There are seven main main techniques which are used in the geoinformatics. First one is the cartography, second one is the geodesy, third one photogrammetry, remote sensing, spatial analysis, web mapping, and global navigation satellite system. These seven types of techniques are basically used for three main purposes. The first one is for data collection, second one is for analysis, and third one for the reporting of data whatever is collected. The first one, that is the cartography, and that web mapping. These two are used for reporting of data in the graphical form or in the map form. Cartography and web mapping are used for reporting of data. Geodesy, photogrammetry, remote sensing, global navigation system, these are used for collection of data. So these are different techniques which are used for gathering the information about particular land feature. And this spatial analysis is basically the analysis of whatever data collected about a particular land feature or topographic feature. Here is the first one. First one is the cartography. This is basically used for reporting of data. It is made up of Greek word, that is the cartos, and graphene. Cartos means a sheet of paper map, and graphene means to write. So it is a study and practice of making map. It is a combination of two words. Carta means map, graphy means to write or represent something in a specific manner. Cartography is a science basically deals with making or drawing of map or a specific chart which represents certain land feature or any object in a specific form which is easily understood by the reader. In this cartography, the representation of earth or any part of the earth is made. Three important characteristics of the cartography is, first, in the cartographic map, all the objects are represented by a specific symbol. Like the river are represented by a specific symbol, trains are represented by a specific symbol, buildings, the moving vehicle, each and everything have a specific symbol to represent them. Only graphical representations are made in the cartographic map, means no detailed description of any particular object is available in the cartographic map, and the meaning of the object is easily understood by the specific symbol whatever is assigned to that particular object. Let us see what happens in the cartographic process. First thing is that whenever a map maker, that is the cartographer who makes the map, wish to observe certain land feature, he visualizes what sort of land features are available, whether it is a hilly area or sandy area or a desert area or a bushy forest, dense forest, whatever it may be. He observes the typical land feature whatever present there. According to that, the cartographer adopts certain technologies for gathering the information. It may be remote sensing, it may be geodesy, it may be the aerial photography. Collect the information, and then the information gathered by the cartographer is later generalized. Generalized means whatever information gathered by the cartographer, he classify the information according to the priorities, then assign a specific symbol to that information and code the object according to the symbol and prepare a map. The map may be virtual, may be static, or may be dynamic. It may be a permanent one. It can be changed within certain time interval. After the particular map is made, the map user decode whatever symbol is assigned by the cartographer, decode, read, analyze the particular features in the map. Then the map user finally interpret and draw conclusion about certain land feature, or if there is a particular problem about that particular land feature, then he try to analyze and conclude the particular decision or management strategy about the specific land feature. So this is all about what happens in the cartographic process. Next one is the geodesy. What is geodesy? Geodesy is basically a branch of geology, that too specific. It is a branch of geophysics, in which we study about the shape of earth, what is the exact position or different points on the earth. Look, here the earth is appearing to be spherical, but whether the earth is spherical or not, it is not completely spherical. It is only a symbolic representation of earth. The earth have different shape, so it is not uniform each and everywhere throughout. There are certain variation. That variation are observed keenly by the geodesy process. Geodesy is basically a study of earth's shape, orientation and position for past, present and future. Means how it appeared in the past, how it is in the present, and how it will appear in the future. That particular data, that particular information is collected with the help of geodesy. This particular topic we will study in detail in our upcoming chapter, or in our next chapter. So whatever whatever be the things which you have to understand in current unit is that geodesy is a branch of geophysics, in which we study about different geometrical, structural and gravitational property of earth, okay, according to various physical component of the earth system, like atmosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, at wider range of temporal and spatial scale. I am repeating again, it is a branch of geography or geology. It is a branch of geology in which we study about geometrical, structural and gravitational property of earth, their time evolution and their interaction with the physical component of earth system. Physical components means atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere at wider range of temporal and spatial scale. That is the geodesy. Next one is the photogrammetry. What is photogrammetry? Photogrammetry is one of the most powerful data capturing technique for creation of GIS map. Okay, it is one of the most important technique for creation of GIS map. In this photogrammetry, certain photos are taken with the help of aircraft or with the help of your ground, any structure on the ground. With some camera are mounted on the aircraft, and wherever the aircraft moves, certain pictures are taken by that mounted camera. It may be overlapping or it may be of various land feature. That particular image are further processed and relevant information are extracted from them. The relevant information may be the land use, vegetation type or different aspect of landscape from that particular photograph. After the extraction of certain images or extraction of certain data, that particular data are further processed with the help of GIS technique and generated in form of map. So this is the photogrammetry. Photogrammetry are basically of two types. First one is the aerial photogrammetry and second one is the terrestrial photogrammetry. Whenever the photos and pictures are taken by the help of aircraft from the aerial view, then it is considered to be photogrammetry. And when the pictures are taken from the ground level with the help of certain tripod stand or any mounted structure or pole, then it is considered to be the terrestrial photogrammetry. Here is the example of the photogrammetric picture which is taken from the aerial photogrammetry. Here you can clearly see the green vegetation here, the land feature, certain building, vehicle, all things are clearly visible to you all. There are specific software for processing of the photogrammetric images like Pix 4D, ePhoto, ESRI orthomapping, like that. Next one is the remote sensing. I have told you that remote sensing is basically made up of two words. First one is the remote and second one is the sensing. Sensing of objects which are very far away from us is considered to be remote sensing. With the help of satellite or aircraft, it basically collects the information on the basis of reflected energy from the Earth's surface. Remote sensing have wider application in field of agriculture. It helps in detection of flood, drought, erosion, deforestation, pest forecasting. Few common application of remote sensing are hyperspectral imaging, sonar, seismograph, etc. Look what happens in the remote sensing. There are basically two type of remote sensing. First one is the passive remote sensing and second one is the active remote sensing. In the passive remote sensing, the main source of energy or main source of light which is incident on the earth surface, each and every object of the earth surface is light. Is sun. So the electromagnetic radiation are incident on the earth surface with the help of sun. Some particular rays are absorbed by the object and certain rays are reflected back. The certain reflected back radiations are gathered and collected by the satellite. That particular satellite transmit the signal or data to a remote station. That remote station with the help of computer or server further process a specific information about the object and convert it into easily understandable form. Like a road emit and reflect certain radiation, water body reflects certain radiation, and all are gathered by the specific satellite. This is what happens in the passive remote sensing. What is active remote sensing? In the active remote sensing, there is no natural source of light. Certain radiation are emitted by the satellite and sent to the ground surface, sent to the earth surface. That particular radiation which are transmitted by the satellite are absorbed by the bodies or anything which are present on the earth surface. Certain radiations are reflected back to the satellite which are collected by the satellite. The signals are sent back to the remote station, further processed, and specific information about object is interpreted. This is what happens in the active remote sensing. So in this there is natural source of light. In this the certain radiation are emitted by the satellite only. Next one is the spatial analysis. Spatial analysis is a form we can understand by its we can simply understand it like that. Spatial analysis of anything which is related to earth is considered to be spatial analysis. So this spatial analysis includes all type of geometrical, topographical or any sort of technique which help in analyzing the data which is related to earth. So the spatial analysis is similar to the GIS technique, but there is the basic difference between GIS and the spatial analysis. Let us take an example for understanding this topic more and more clearly. Suppose there is a location and there are various trees. You want to record the location of a specific tree in a well-defined area. You then map the location of a tree. That is considered as GIS task. Means you record the location of a specific tree in a particular area. That is considered as GIS task. Now at that point, if you wish to know that at how much distance different trees are present, whether the trees are clustered or dispersed, the tree density is constant or it is variable. If you want to know all this type of information, then it is considered to be spatial analysis. Means more and more information about a particular area are gathered in the spatial analysis, and in the GIS analysis you only get the specific information about particular object. In the spatial analysis there are various mathematical software which are used for interpretation of data, like R, SPSS. For analysis of GIS data, certain software are needed, like ArcGIS, QGIS for interpretation and analysis of temporal and spatial data, for integrating the data which are obtained by that spatial and temporal observations. Next one is the web mapping. It is a technique or process where maps are delivered by geographical information system in worldwide map. Now what happens in that? Suppose you have drawn a certain topographical map or map by with the help of GIS technique. Now you just feed the particular data, whatever map you obtain from with the help of GIS technique in the net. The net collect your map and try to cross check or try to what we can say, try to just check or cross check that whatever information which you have gathered resembles some sort of database which are previously present in the software or which are previously present or stored previously. When the particular topographic map is fed into the computer, the previous set of database which are present in the computer are further resembled with each other. If any resemblance is present between what map you have fed into the computer and whatever data earlier present in the software, the data are processed and further sent back again to the main observer or user, that what sort of information are available throughout the globe or throughout the world about particular type of land feature which you have fed into the computer. Here it is explained more clearly. Suppose you are using a browser like Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer or Google. These are certain maps which are generated by the GIS like Google Map or QGIS. This particular information with the help of Internet Explorer or Chrome are fed into the particular web software or web server. Then the information what you have fed are further matched with whatever data the computer have throughout the world, throughout the globe. This type of informational data are present inside this type of the information which are present throughout the globe are present in the form of Oracle or PostGIS, MIGL, MYGIS, like that. When certain data are matched, then specific information are again sent back to the server and you finally get the information about particular object. Suppose there is a land feature of any particular area. Someone previously has observed the land feature, have configured the particular land feature, have generated some type of information like these have the volcano, there is the presence of volcano earlier in the earlier times, like that, and this sort of information about that particular area is available in the internet. You have no idea about the information about the particular area. Then you feed the topographical map of the particular area into the internet. Internet have the information of having the volcano at that particular area. The internet send back this information to you. Now you know that that particular area what you have observed have the volcano present over here in the previous time, like that. So this is all about various techniques. There are various type of web maps like static web maps, online atlas, and animated and real-time web maps, analytical web maps. These static web maps are not frequently updated. They are in the form of JPG, PNG, like that. Online atlases are the graphical representation or maps of various parts of the world. Animated in real time web maps are the maps which you used when you just when you go to a particular location or when you on your Google map. So it is just like it just work like your Google map. Next one is the analytical web map. When the GIS processed data is configured into a map, then it is considered to be analytical web map. Next one is the global navigation satellite system. Navigation is basically the study or monitoring of a particular person, place, or any vehicle in one place or another. There are 4 types of navigation. First one is the land navigation, marine navigation, aeronautic navigation, or space navigation. This is a branch of geoinformatics where we know the exact positional information about certain place, a certain thing, or any certain object. This is mainly used in the satellite system, military, defense, or telecommunication. Here are few references which I have considered while making the slides. Thank you.